It's time for Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Stay tuned for conversation and information from her special guest. Now sit back and relax and enjoy Real Talk with Cindy Barber.
Good evening, and welcome to Real Talk with Cindy. Good to see you joining us tonight. My guest is here. Thank you for joining. Please let me know the city, state, or country in which you are joining me from. I see you from Philadelphia. Brenda, thank you so much for being here tonight. Please tag and share and let others know that we're here. Let others know that we are here. We're live and living color. And I hope everyone has had an amazing day on today, an amazing week. Please share, tag. I see you coming on. Those that are watching from YouTube, welcome. God bless you. Good to see you joining us on tonight. I see you coming on. God bless you. God bless you. Also, please subscribe if you have not done so. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Real Talk TV with Cindy Barber. And if you would like to be a blessing to Real Talk, I have 3 ways to give: Cash App, $ Cindy's Keys, PayPal.me/Cindy Barber, or Zelle, ms.cindybarber@gmail.com. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you are interested in advertising here on Real Talk, please send me an email, ms.cindybarber@gmail.com, or you can DM me. God bless you. Please tag and let others know that we're here. Jacqueline Reed from Ardmore, thank you for joining us on tonight. I see you coming on. Please tag and share. Matter of fact, I'm going to tag a few people right now. I see you coming on. Also, if you are celebrating a birthday in the month of June or a wedding anniversary, please type it in the comment section. If you are celebrating a birthday for the month of June or anniversary, please type it in the comment section. Please tag and share. Please tag and share. I'm doing so right now. I see you coming on. Hi, John. I was just tagging you. Thank you for joining me from YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you. I see you coming on. I see you. Please give us likes and hearts as well. Please let me know again the city and state in which you are joining us from, also the country in which you are joining us from on tonight. I look forward to this dialogue, this conversation with this amazing artist. Please tag and let others know that we're on, and we're here now. I'm getting ready to bring her on. Trying to wait for a few more to come on. God bless you. God bless you. I see you coming on. I see you coming on. Hi, Brenda from Philadelphia. God bless you. Thank you for being with me on tonight. Thank you so much. Also, my aunt from Simpsonville, South Carolina, Auntie Sue, glad to have you tonight. As always, one of my big supporters. It's nothing like having family support you. Speaking of family, let me tag my mother. She's not on yet. And then we're going to come on. My sisters. God bless you. I see you coming on. No one has a birthday this month for June or celebrating a wedding anniversary? Not this month, huh? We had quite a few last month. Also, this is what you're listening to is Freda Battle and the Tempo Worshippers. Here is our praise. That is the title, and that is the song that I'm playing tonight. You've got to get this CD, download it, whatever you need to do. We're going to talk about it on tonight. It's an amazing, amazing CD. I love it. I've been listening to it for the entire week, really. All day today, I've been really listening and meditating. God bless you. We're going to get started. I'm going to bring on my guest. Hey there, Sister Freda.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. I'm so
Good.
glad and so honored that you would have me on this evening.
Oh, I'm so honored that you accepted my invitation. I feel honored to have you. I have watched you years ago. I think you were on Bobby Jones and with your music, and I never dreamed that I would have you on the show. Well, I never dreamed I would have this platform, but to have you on is really an honor for me as well.
Well, that was such a blessed time. At that time, we were really promoting our projects, and God just
Yeah,
gave us so much favor with Dr. Jones. So we're
yes,
thankful for that. Absolutely.
yes, absolutely. So let's begin by talking about your music journey. What age did you begin with singing?
Um, well, actually, with singing at the age of 6, my mother put me in the children's choir at our church at that time, and my mom was a
Mm-hmm.
choir director, and her dad before her, so
Wow.
she made me do it. So, but I started singing at 6 years of age, and grew. And then when I was about 14, I joined the
Uh-huh.
youth choir, and I really, to be honest, I didn't know anything about harmonies or notes. And so I'm sitting in a
Mm-hmm.
rehearsal. I'll tell you a quick story. I'm sitting in rehearsal, and I'm
Uh-huh.
14, and everybody else is a little older. And at that
Yeah.
time, I youth choir, everybody was singing the same note. I don't care how many times our director would teach us the harmonies and
Mm-hmm.
sing the same note. It's my first rehearsal, and he
Mm-hmm.
teaches the alto note. I'm in the alto row. And so when everybody goes to sing, I'm actually singing the alto note. And so he stops
Mm.
the rehearsal and he says, "Who was that? Who was that?" And I sort of slid down my seat. My cousin Debbie was sitting next to me. She was like, "Freedom, wasn't that you?" I said, "No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me," because I did not want the attention. But
Right.
as fate would have it, God began to help me to understand that I really had a great ear for harmony. And from there, like I said, I started, directing our youth choir very reluctantly. I told them I'll direct till they got another one, and they never did. But
Right.
so I started directing, and then I really wanted to play. That's really what my heart was. I wanted to play an
Mm-hmm.
instrument, and I started with. I never really fully learned it, and so eventually I just started practicing by myself on piano. Taught
Mm-hmm.
myself to play. Started, teaching the choir as I'm playing, and eventually started directing. So
Right.
once I started playing, though, it became very natural for me to start writing songs. So from the
Yeah.
moment I started playing, I started writing.
Yes, that's good. Now your phone is breaking up and it's a little staticky on our end. Okay, we'll try it again.
Uh-huh.
Now you have siblings. Are they in music as well?
I have, I'm the middle of seven. I'm right in the middle, and three of us are gifted in music. My sister Day, who's just under me, she sings, and she claims she was the one that taught me to direct. I don't know about that, but she sings. And then my youngest brother, Rodney, he's an excellent choir director and singer, got a great ear. And so three of us, my mom really pushed us to, follow in her footsteps. And so we've been together off and on singing, I'll just say a lot of years.
Yes, right. A lot of years. Wow. Was there any artists or anybody that inspired you for singing?
For singing, for singing, I mean, there were artists that I loved. Of course, I loved the Clock Sisters and artists like that. Now, I don't consider myself a stylist or singer. I really consider
Mhm.
myself a psalmist that writes songs to hear singers
Yeah.
sing. That's not to say I can't pick up a mic and lead in worship and all of
Right.
that. For me, it was more so inspiration in terms of songwriters. And so some of my favorites was Marvin Winans and Walter Hawkins and again Twinkie Clark.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
even on the secular side with Ashford and Simpson and
Hmm.
a young woman by the name of Carole King, who was a great songwriter back in the 60s and 70s. So I was very much in tune with songwriters and love
Right.
to listen to music. And so when I started writing songs, the more that I wrote, the more songs that started coming.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Wow. That's great. And now you are a recording artist and a writer, as you were stating. How did that journey begin with you writing songs?
Okay. So once I started playing, like I said, I started writing songs, and I was very blessed to have some of the best singers in Boston at the time. And so I had a group called Family.
Hmm.
Eventually, I started a choir that was really based out of our national convention because I'm also a member of the Thomas Dorsey Convention, National Convention of Gospel Choirs and Choruses. And I
Right.
saw one time you had on President Gentry, and I gave her a
Yes.
shout. But so when I started writing, I always had
Hmm.
good music. And so I began writing songs. And then around the mid 80s, actually, a gentleman by the name of Gloucester Williams was coming through Boston. And at the time, I was on radio because by profession, I'm also a radio announcer. And so he came through the radio station and he met me, and they were saying that, I had groups and I wrote songs. So he says, oh,
Right.
really? I'm putting together a group, and they're called King James Version. Do you have, you think you can share a song with us? I said, wow, really? And at the time, they were on Light Records. And so
Right.
I had this song called God Will See You Through, but I didn't have a verse and I didn't have a chorus. And so
Oh,
I let him listen to it, and he said, well, can you write a verse and a chorus? And I tried. I was like, no, Gloss, I'm really not hearing anything. So he said, well, would you mind if I gave it to Percy Beatty and see if he can write a verse? I said, Percy Beatty, of course. Oh,
wow. Yes.
so to make a long story short, the song God Will See You Through, which Dr. Jones did a lot of times on Bobby Jones Gospel, but the song God Will See You Through, I originally wrote,
Hmm.
and then Beatty added the verses, and then Gloucester added the band, which, because he said he would, he's going to do it. So that was my first song to go national, along with another song on that album called Love Song. And from
Wow.
there, in terms of my own
Uh-huh.
recordings, I just decided one day I got a good singing choir. I'm going to record an album. I didn't even know how, and I'll tell you how
Wow.
God it worked. At the time, there was a very popular R&B group, New Kids on the Block,
Yeah.
which was managed by Maurice Starr, and
Hmm.
MD at the time. Their music director was a gentleman by the name of Greg McPherson, and Greg McPherson was their music director. He also, recorded at House of Hit Studios, and he was also a minister of music at a church. So when we met, he was, like, oh, music. So I was thinking about doing a recording. Make a long story short, he wound up helping me record and produce my first recording, and he took it to House of Hit Studios, where New Kids on the Block recorded, and Maury Starr came in and listened to the project and wrote the whole thing off for free and let me have all the studio time for free. So that was my first recording called He Should Buy All You Need, on cassette, by the way.
Cassette, right.
Cassette, yes, cassette. Right. And so from there, I've done 11 projects. 2 of them have gone national. And so I've been very blessed in that area. I enjoy writing songs. That's probably my passion, besides getting before people, leading them in God's presence. I absolutely love writing songs.
Okay. Your phone is crackling.
Okay.
So does it need to be plugged in, or?
Hold on.
See, it's crackling a lot.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. We're having some technical difficulties, but.
All right, let's try it.
Okay. All right. It's still a little bit, but I think it's a little better. Yeah. I hear it. Do you hear it?
Yes, I hear it when you talk. I don't hear it when I talk.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So anyway, I was saying that, I have the passion for writing songs, and, I've written for other artists as well. And so I'm just thankful for, everything that.
Yeah, right. Some people are saying they can't hear you as well. Cracking. Yeah. Okay. How many songs have you written?
I would say pretty much close to 1,000. I've written close to 1,000 songs. Now, all of them are not gospel. I write, as I'm inspired to write. And so some of them are sort of a Latin feel or jazz feel. And then others, like I said, are gospel. Some are instrumental. So, if I sit down at the piano, I will write a song. I can hear,
wow.
The windshield wipers could be going, and I'll hear something, a melody or something in my head. It's just constantly flows. And I've also gotten songs in dreams. So,
wow, that's amazing. Yeah. I know I had Babby Mason on last week, and Babby talked about how she'll write a song every day. And she said it doesn't take much for her. She's written, I guess, like 2,000 songs or so. And she said she just writes all the time. It just comes naturally. And I guess the more you do it, she says she can hear something or, or see some words to something, and it'll trigger her to write. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't have close to 2,000, but I've written more or less close to 1,000. Yes.
Wow. That's great. That's really good. Now, the group that you recorded with, the Temple Worshipers, how did that begin?
The Temple Worshipers, I started when I decided to do a project that was geared more towards live praise and worship. And so I collected some singers together, some that had been with me in the past, and others who, I've just seen over the years in Boston. And so I put the group together specifically to do an album we did called For All You Done For Me. I've done that song live as well as on the Here's Our Praise project. So we did a live recording called For All You Done For Me. And
Wow.
some people feel like it was our best to date. But
Really?
we just did it live at the time it was New Covenant Christian Church. It's now Jubilee Christian
Mm-hmm.
Church. But we did it live
Mm-hmm.
there, and it was just an awesome night of worship and fellowship.
Wow.
So we
Yeah.
started there, and then from there we were like, well, you know what? Let's just continue singing together. And so
Mm-hmm.
from there we did, our first project to go national, which was Serious Praise,
Mm-hmm.
followed by Here's Our Praise Project. And I actually have um, another one out called How Glorious and Excellent Is Our God.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Wow. That's good. You are frozen. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes, I
me?
can.
You were frozen. Okay. All right.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
And so apparently you definitely are still writing. Are you planning on recording anytime soon or?
Oh, absolutely. It's something that I'm thinking about. Right now, what I'm working on is I have quite a few songs that we did in studio with my group family, and we never released them. So I'm going to do sort
Really?
of a raw, unreleased, uncut, just raw
Yeah.
um, release of some of the songs we've done in the studio. So that should be coming
Hmm.
within the next month. In July, I'm going to be
Yeah.
releasing that.
Wow.
And I also have another album by the group ever. So I want to do those, then we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay. Very good. Now, as a songwriter, do you get any challenges or think, or, with the songs of today and the artists of today, do you feel like you have to try to keep up or remain relevant? Has it ever been a challenge for you or anything, or not?
Um, I don't think so. I think what you're saying is keeping up in terms of my music.
Yeah, your music.
Okay,
I
so
mean, have you ever been challenged
I,
in that way?
I'm sorry, say that
Have
again.
you ever been challenged in that way?
I don't think so. I think for me, it's been, I just write as I'm inspired. Of course,
Yeah,
I keep up with what's going on today musically, and I might play around a little bit with different beats or things like that. But for the most part, I don't feel challenged to do that. I think that when you're a songwriter and people want your particular song, it's because of
hmm,
who you are and your way and your style of writing. So
right.
I wouldn't say I ever feel challenged, but
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
enjoy some of the artists of today. Now I can't say I know all of them, but
Hmm.
I enjoy listening to.
Yes, right. Because I know I've heard some people say that they have felt a little challenge where they have to, they wrote like years ago and trying to keep up with what's going on now. They felt, a little challenge in that area. So yeah, and I think, that's how it is where if everybody sound the same and if all the songs were the same, it wouldn't be any need to buy, everyone's music. So you have to be different.
Oh, absolutely. I think, and I would tell any young artist, first of all, do you.
Yeah,
Don't try to be anyone else. The ones that I feel have been most successful are those that have come out the box and what you would call trailblazers because they've done something different.
yeah,
I think of, I think of, if you go back to Hezekiah Walker, when he first came out with the Fellowship Choir,
yeah,
the reason why he took off was because they had this little bounce groove that they used to do. Well, the next thing you
yeah.
know, every youth choir in the country was trying to copy that groove. And it's because it was successful and it works. But I always tell people, whatever you do, if you just be you, eventually that thing will click and take off like it should. But
That's right.
always be you. I mean, it's good to borrow little bit here and there. I think we do that as songwriters, so it's good to borrow here and there, but yes, for heaven's sake, always be you.
Right. That's so important. That's so important. Now let's talk about your responsibilities at your church where you are. So you are a music pastor?
I'm officially, I'm not the pastor of music. Pastor Josh Sisso, shout out to him, and Pastor Johnny White. They are officially Josh is our pastor of worship, and Pastor Johnny is our minister of music. And so I more or less have slid over her. I am a associate pastor there, and I'm at World Overcomers Christian Church in Durham, North Carolina. My pastor, Andy Thompson, shout out to him. Don't talk about my pastor.
Yes.
I love him, and I love the ministry. And so I've sort of slid over. I oversee the elders and deacons ministry, and I also oversee our primetime ministry. Primetime ministry is for those 45 and up, and we enjoy our fellowship time. I tell anybody, listen, I'm in my 60s and God is good. I feel great, and it ain't over yet. So, we enjoy getting together. We're getting together actually this Saturday for a tech day. But so I sort of overlook those ministries, and I do other things, intercessory and things like that. So I think that there comes a season, Cindy, where you've got to know how to pivot. I'll just say that, how to pivot and how to move. What happens is people want to stay in their same positions for years. At some point, you got to let others sort of do what they need to do. And, with those guys in their 30s, those guys are in their 30s, and I know that I was actually, leading in my 20s. So you got to be able to do that. But we have other gifts. I mean, like I said, I'm still writing songs. If I want to do a recording, I can do a recording. So there are a number of things that I'm still doing musically. But at my home church, I oversee those two ministries, and it's a blessing and a joy.
Yes. Someone is on here that President Gentry, greetings and much love sent to both of you, wonderfully blessed women.
Yes. I love it. I hope to see you this year in Orlando.
Yes. She's an amazing person. She's amazing.
She is.
She really is.
She's the only one I know that can sing. She's the only one. I was going to say, she's the only one I know that can sing opera and tear the place up.
Yes.
With the Holy Ghost.
Yes. She can. Oh, David Winslow said, please record again. I'm waiting.
David Winslow. Yes.
Yes. I love David.
Love you, David.
Yes. He has an amazing choir. The Winslow Singers.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Yes. Now, during COVID, and I know a lot of churches were closed, and then when those opened back up, how did you maneuver with the music ministry? How did you guys do at your church?
Well, we weren't having services at all. So during COVID, the only thing we did is we got together sometimes every other week or sometimes once a month on Zoom. And, we got together and just fellowship and checked up on one another, make sure everybody was doing well. So we actually, because our church was one of the last churches to come back in person, we didn't do it until actually around this time last year, 2021. So we were very active online in terms of media, but we didn't do too much in person.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Do you all have a choir at the church?
We do not officially. Well, we have officially and unofficially. They keep bugging me about putting the choir together, and I keep trying to tell them that's not my sphere anymore. But we don't necessarily have a church choir. We have several praise teams that we use on Sunday mornings, and then once in a while we might put the choir together for special events.
Yeah, which is nice. Yes, which is nice.
Oh,
How
yeah.
is it? Say that again.
No more.
Go ahead. I didn't hear
No,
you.
I was just saying that. Oh no, I was just saying that we usually put the choir together for special events.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people are doing in churches, and some are just not having a choir at all, and they have
Hmm.
broken them up to be a part of the praise team.
Yeah,
So that,
normally, I know that the praise team it takes a little more where you have to audition people because usually they're in individual mics.
yeah,
So I mean, I miss the church choir. Just in
yeah,
general, I love the choir. I love the camaraderie of 50 or more people coming together, which creates a synergy and all of that.
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm,
but um, sometimes you got to shift with the times.
yeah. Well, just like you were saying about, sometimes you've been in a position for so many years and you can be stuck. And if you don't utilize your other gifts, they will be gone. And I think it's important, even for pastors, to understand and realize that just because you're a minister of music and you may have been in that position for a number of years, sometimes it's time to kind of, talk to them and maybe transition them into something else or overseeing it, and and let them utilize their other gifts if that's what they want to do.
Yes, I sort of act as a confidant to the music industry. If they need guidance or anything else, anything they want to
Hmm.
bring forth a question, I do that. If there are workshops that's needed and Pastor
Yeah.
Josh needs me to come in and work with the team, I'll do that. So I'm always available for that. I think
Hmm.
that in terms of ministries as a whole, let me just say this. I think
Hmm.
I was at my peak in my 40s. That's just me. It might be different for someone else. Of
Hmm.
course, I was good in my 30s, but by the time I hit 40, it was like, just give me the mic and step aside. I know I have it mentally, I have it
Hmm.
physically, and I have it spiritually. And those
Hmm.
combined there really made a difference for me to really flourish at the church I was at the time, which was New Covenant Christian Church in Boston, or Jubilee.
Hmm.
So I really flourished there, and the music ministry just grew by leaps and bounds. So I
Hmm.
said that to say um, there is a time period where you will know when I enjoy worship. I worship the Lord every day.
Hmm.
But there comes a time when you say, yeah, but it's time for you to shift. And can you
Hmm.
do that and say, well, Lord, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I trust you to
Hmm.
lead me and guide me
Hmm.
and help me to do that. So, so
Hmm.
I still enjoy teaching music and teaching songs. And when I'm called upon, I do it,
Right.
but I'm enjoying this season of my life as well. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. That's so good. That's really good. Now, how important for you, as we share with other people, as far as having that working relationship with the pastor, the musicians, and the choir director or the worship leader, how important is that?
The importance of the worship leader and the pastor.
And the relationship, the
Absolutely
working
important.
relationship.
Yes. Okay, so here's the way I approach this. Because if you're not careful, you approach it like, well, the Lord leads me and guides me. I know what, when it comes to worship, what it is that the Lord wants and desires. That's good. But I always approach a ministry like this. This is his vision
Hmm.
and this is his house. And God speaks to him and let him know what he wants. He tells me, well, Freda, this is what I need. I need A, B, C, or D. I try
Hmm.
to the best of my ability fulfill that. And so I don't
Hmm.
get caught up into what it is I want to do. Now,
Right.
under the anointing guidance, you do get to do what you want to do. But always remember, if you come to a place where he's thinking one thing, he's thinking another, well, then it's his thoughts that count. And if he needs to come your way of thinking, then you let God do that. But you never want to approach it like, this is my thing, and this is what I do, and if you don't like it, that's not the best way to be blessed. To be blessed, what you want to do is submit yourself, and as much as possible, be a blessing to the body and never a hindrance.
Right. That's good. Very good. That's good. What advice could you give to a person that's interested in writing songs?
Here's the first thing I always say to a young writer: don't try to write a hit, just write songs, right? Because if you try to write a hit, you're going to be trying to compare it to someone else who's had a hit, and you're going to be doing is you're going to start it, then you're going to say, I can't hear. Oh, I'm suffering from writer's block. No, you're not. What you need to do is just sit down and write songs. There are a lot of songs that I've written I would never share with anybody. They're just for me, but then there are those that I write, and it's like the minute I write them, I know this song is going to be a blessing. So you just have to, just flow and just write what you're feeling, and write according to inspiration from what the Lord is saying. But don't try to write the big blockbuster hit. If it's in you, it'll come out naturally.
It'll come out. That's so true. That's so true. And as we close, what's next for Freda Battle?
Well, as I stated, I'm working on, I'm going to be releasing some unreleased songs that I've done in the past. I've recorded that no one has heard yet. So we're just going to step out in faith, and we're just going to release them and see where they go from there. I do have a couple of books in me. I've started a couple of books. Hopefully I'll finish them. I got about 10 titles, but I do have a couple of books that I've started, and so I'm working on those as well. And so for me, it's continuing to do what I do, which is write songs and be a blessing wherever I'm needed. I'm available to do songs for other people. I love doing that. And so, so look out for unreleased, uncut versions from the group Family, Freda Battle and Family, as well as one more from the Temple Worshipers.
That sounds good. That's amazing. That's good. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Amen.
And when you write your book, I want you to come back on the show.
Okay. All right. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get back to it. Yes.
Yeah. And with your music, I want you to come back on.
Okay. I'd love
Definitely.
to.
Yes. I would be honored to have you come back on. And we can listen to a little bit of it and, encourage the people to purchase it.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. So I want to thank you so much for being my guest on tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
I've enjoyed it. You made it easy. I was a little nervous. You made it easy.
I try to do that with people, because they get real nervous. So I try to make them, feel as comfortable as possible. David Winslow said, I miss my Freda. Hope to see you in Orlando.
Yes, I hope to be there, David. I miss you too. That's my guy.
Yes, yes. David and I sometimes get on the phone, and we're on there for quite some time. It's always good. He has so much history.
Oh, yes. Listen, he kept me up to date. He downloaded me some music from back in the day. Yeah. I was like, Lord, I didn't even think anybody else knew this stuff. But
he has thousands. He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you too, Dave. So I want to thank you so much for being here, and I want to thank my guests. You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Yeah. And I want to thank all of you that have tuned in. I'm sorry. Absolutely. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to thank everybody that
Yes.
tuned in, my family, friends, and loved ones. I love all you guys, and just look forward to greater things. Be
Yeah.
encouraged through this season. Don't let the
Mm.
enemy try to distract you. Don't let the enemy, try to discourage you, because
Mm-hmm.
God's got some great and mighty things for us to do. Two things.
Yes.
Jesus said, love God and love his people. That's all you got to do. Love
That's
God
all.
and love people. You know?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. I forgot to ask you one question. Was it hard transitioning from Boston and going to North Carolina for you?
No, it wasn't, because it was like, Cindy, it was like everything was shutting down in Boston. I wasn't sure what was going on. And I remember
Okay.
saying to the Lord one day, I said, now, Lord, if this is you, I'm good. I'll wait and see what's going on. If it's
Mm-hmm.
the enemy, then let me know so I can battle in the spirit,
Yeah.
but God, just let me know. And what happened was, a good friend of mine, shout out to Mark Copeland, musician extraordinaire. I was
Mm-hmm.
talking with him one day, and I said, Mark, it's like I can't really find the ministry of music job that I really want. And he
Mm.
said, Freda, why are you here in Boston? He goes, you can go anywhere in the country. And
Mm-hmm.
so when he said that, I was like, Lord, are you telling me my season is up? And sure enough, he began to confirm it was time to go. That's why
Mm-hmm.
things were shutting down. But he
Yeah.
asked me to trust him to take me to a place. So once that started, I started praying about where he wanted me to go.
Yeah.
And my nephew, my boo, Sarone, was driving me home in a blizzard one night in Boston. I do not miss the blizzards. I love you, Boston,
No.
but I do not miss the blizzards. But he was
No.
driving me home in a blizzard, and he started talking about how he wanted to move his family to North Carolina. The way
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about it, you'd have thought it was this side of heaven. And so by the time I got out of the car, I was like, boy, I think you done convinced me to move to North Carolina. So to make a long story short, as it worked out, from the moment I set my foot in North Carolina, God has met me here, and it has been a blessing. I
Wow.
came first, and now I have like 20 to 22 of my family members down here. So it's
Really?
amazing. Yes. We never talked about moving anywhere.
Right.
And it was like I moved in 2013. My nephew did finally move here with his family 2014. My sister and her
Mm-hmm.
husband 2015, 2016, another nephew, and on and
Wow.
on and on. So yeah, so um,
Wow.
it has been a blessing for us as a family. God has
Yeah.
really blessed us
That's
tremendously.
great. It's
So
nothing like
it
being.
was a step of faith, because when I
Yeah.
came down,
Yeah.
I didn't have a job. I didn't even have a place to live. I was staying at an extended stay, and things were
Wow.
getting rough. And I asked, my niece had moved down 2 weeks later with her
Mm-hmm.
boys, and I asked her how long was the drive from Durham to
Mm-hmm.
Richmond, Virginia. And she says, oh, it's
Mm.
about 2.5 hours. I said, oh, like Boston, Connecticut. She said, yeah. So I got her on the phone, and my dad, my spiritual dad, shout out to Reverend Owen C. Cardwell.
Mm-hmm.
I talked with him. He was at the time pastoring a church in Richmond. One thing led to another, and he instantly hired me to be his minister of music. I would drive down there every weekend to play for the service and lead in
Mm-hmm.
worship, and
Mm-hmm.
come back here. And then 6 months later, Pastor Andy and World Overcomers asked me if I could, and I knew I was called to Durham. So
Yeah.
I automatically said, "Oh yes, of course," And
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Andy has been such a blessing to my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
He always looks out for the old girl, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to watch him all the time when he was on television.
Yeah,
I was watching him every week, I guess for about 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. You're in a great ministry.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yes.
So,
Wow.
but thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. But don't go anywhere. And I
Okay.
want to say good night to everyone. And please join me on next Monday evening. I have Bishop Freddie Washington from Penns Grove, New Jersey, who will be my special guest. So make sure you tune in. We have a lot to talk about. He's also full of good history as well. John Winslow said, love you, Frida. So good to hear you this evening.
Love you, John.
Yes. So I want to say good night to everyone, and please stay tuned for Real Talk with Cindy. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to our next gathering, which will be on Monday. God bless you. This has never really quite happened here.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to Real Talk with Cindy Barber. We hope you have been informed and inspired by the conversation on this evening. You can contact Cindy Barber on Instagram at CindyRBarber04. You can email her at ms.cindybarber@gmail.com or the YouTube channel at Cindy R. Barber. You can also contact Cindy about having your event advertised on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Cindy looks forward to you joining her next week for another informative conversation right here on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Until then, have a great evening.